Good afternoon. The Vidi printer is running. Final score will chart the closing stages of today's football matches. Gavin Peacock, Gary Pallister and Garth Crooks are on the lookout for the top stories of the day. Confirmation of the result of the FA Cup quarter-final already played. Manchester United 0, Portsmouth 1. The goal from that match and the major incidents are on the way. But latest news first on the matches in progress. At Anfield, Liverpool can consolidate fourth place in the table. Newcastle arrived having failed to win any of their last 11 Premier League games. Too close to the relegation places for comfort. Damien Johnson reporting.
Liverpool 3, Newcastle 0. Liverpool have put takeover talk to one side to turn the screw on hapless Newcastle. A freakish first, a deflection off Jermaine Pennant put them ahead. Newcastle switched off, Liverpool capitalised again 2 minutes later. Torres rounding the keeper after Gerrard's delicious through ball. Roles reversed for the third, Torres fed Gerrard and he notched his 19th of the season. Newcastle has survived a penalty shout. Harper's made several good saves. Gerrard and Torres have gone off to rest them ahead of Inter Milan in the Champions League on Tuesday. Martins hit the bar in the second half for Newcastle, but there's little for them to shout about. Liverpool in control.
One defeat in 10 for seventh place Blackburn going into a home game with second bottom Fulham. Effectively, because of their goal difference, Fulham was 7 points in the safety line. Andrew James reporting.
Ray, it's got no better for them today. It's Blackburn Rovers 1, Fulham 0. Fulham's goal on the hour from Morton Gams Pedersen. Jason Roberts, who'd come on as a sub, swung the ball into the box. Question of a foul by Pedersen on Stalteri, but Pedersen got in first to put the ball beyond 38-year-old Casey Carter. Best chance for Fulham. Eddie Johnson hit the angle of post and bar. It's Blackburn Rovers 1, Fulham 0.
After 8 defeats on the run, Reading stopped the rot last Saturday, but they were still third bottom and going into a home game with the Manchester City side that has stuttered of late. 1 win in 7. Alan Biggs reporting.
And Reading lead through Shane Long's goal on the hour. What a big one it could be if Reading hold on here. They'll leapfrog the 5 clubs immediately above them. I say hold on. Reading are so confident, actually, that their mentality has been to chase a second goal, adding to the one precisely converted by Long from Kevin Doyle's cross. Andre Bikey had hit the post just before, so City have been warned. Their performance disrupted by having skipper Richard Dunn stretch it off with a gashed shin, but no excuse really. Reading deservedly lead 1-0.
Yeah, Reading going up to 13th in the table if they get a victory there. Gary, Kevin Keegan, Newcastle, no win in 12 it's going to be now. Kevin Keegan, 2 points from 21. What's going wrong? Defensively, they're looking a mess.
Defensively again today, I mean, for 43 minutes of the game, Newcastle were playing well. Liverpool were kept at bay. Defensively, they're looking pretty good. They conceded a freakish goal off Jermaine Pennant from a clearance. And it's like they've been the rest of the season. They capitulate after that. They concede a second and a third straight away. Have
Fulham reason to complain about the goal they've conceded at Ewood Park?
Just a bit. And if it stays like this, 1-0 to Blackburn, I think that Fulham have every right to be outraged by what's taken place. Our reporter is saying that there seemed like there was an infringement. I'm in absolute no doubt there was an infringement from Pedersen on Stalteri. He literally throws him to the ground and then converts the header. Riley is in a perfect position, but doesn't see it.
The latest twists and turns in the relegation issue. Reading could go from third bottom to 13th.
Quite amazing, and such an important win if they do win this. And they've played OK. What's apparent to me, Ray, is a couple of weeks ago they were looking defensively very, very poor, and they've changed it. They've got BK and Inga Marson in the middle there at the back, and they look much, much more solid, more like the Reading of last season, and this could be back-to-back wins for them in the league now.
Still time for score lines to change. Action now for the Manchester United Portsmouth FA Cup quarter-final, sponsored by Eon. Commentary by Steve Wilson.
Portsmouth into the FA Cup semi-final for the first time in 16 years. Really found Ronaldo magnificently. Cristiano Ronaldo here. Good covering by Distant. It's a very good decision. Brown. Campbell. More up than out. 2 went for it. It's come to Evra off the post. Nani's delivery. James takes and looks downfield for Milan Baros, and Portsmouth have 2 up here, and it's Nico Kranjčar, and Baros is square if Kranjčar can find him. It's Baros for Portsmouth. He's brought down. It's a penalty kick, and it may well be a red card. It is. Kuszczak is sent off. Manchester United haven't got another keeper because Kuszczak was the sub-keeper. Rio Ferdinand, the captain, put on the shirt and put on the gloves. Sully Muntari against Rio Ferdinand, standing goalkeeper. Muntari scores! Ferdinand went the right way, but Manchester United are behind.
And some controversial comments from Carlos Queiroz after that match. We'll hear from them a little later. The second quarter-final, Barnsley versus Chelsea, will be live on BBC One. Coverage begins at 5:10. The two other quarter-finals live on BBC One tomorrow. Middlesbrough play Cardiff, Bristol Rovers versus West Bromwich Albion. The team sheets are in for the Barnsley-Chelsea tie. John Watson has all the details.
Well, the atmosphere is really building up here at Oakwell. The rain's coming down. That'll freshen up the pitch, certainly in Barnsley's favour. They're looking for another knockout of a top club here, but Chelsea have come with a pretty good side, as you'll see from the team news. Barnsley have made 3 changes from the team that won at Liverpool. Van Hommett, the Dutchman, is coming at right back. Hassel's moved into midfield. Jamal Campbell-Rice is playing on the left wing. He's quite tricky. And Oda Jai has come in up front. He hasn't scored, by the way, since early September. Now, Olympiacos were the team at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday night. Simon Davey, the Barnsley manager, watched Chelsea beat them, but he didn't get too many clues because Chelsea have made 6 changes today. Recalled are Belletti, Bridge, Sean Wright-Phillips, Essien, Anelka and Malouda. Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba didn't travel, but Avram Grant has capped the backbone of the team in Terry and Carvalho, and he's also, of course, got the option of bringing on subs, but Ballack definitely starts. It's a good atmosphere here in Yorkshire, and after what happened at Old Trafford earlier on today, who knows?
News now on today's Coca-Cola Championship games. The league leaders Bristol City, unbeaten in 6 games, are playing 6th bottom Leicester. Mark Bishop reporting.
It's Leicester 0, Bristol City 0. Crowd of over 22,000 here, Ray, will be asking themselves how there have been no goals. It's been a terrific high-octane second half. Hume, Hendry and Fryatt have all wasted good opportunities. Bassoff in Bristol City's goal has been brilliant today, denying DJ Campbell and then Stearman. But my oh my, the referee, Fred Graham, and his assistant referee got it all wrong when Brian Wilson's 25-yard thunderbout out on the right-hand side hit the underside of the bar. The ball clearly crossed the line. Everyone could see it did, but no goal given. 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It's 0-0 at the Walkers.
7th against 3rd in League 2, Wycombe against Darlington. Wycombe have taken a 2-0 lead. 7th place Wycombe are going to make some progress. Back to the Championship. Stoke City in the scrap from automatic promotion place. Burnley 4 points from a playoff place when the game being played at the Britannia Stadium kicked off. Latest news from Harry Gratian.
Stoke just can't score, Ray, but they've shown more invention in this second half. Sidibe went desperately close, and Riggett's free kick brought a good save from Burnley's goalkeeper Kirali. But Kyle Lafferty's 2nd-minute goal is the difference. What a boost that could be for Burns' top 6 hopes. As for Stoke's automatic promotion hopes, they look over-ambitious on this performance.
A goal at Ewood Park. Blackburn against Fulham. Andrew James.
No more than they deserve. Blackburn Rovers 1, Fulham 1, and Jimmy Bullard with a free kick from some 25 yards out is the man that scored the goal. It was a foul by Christopher Samba on Eddie Johnson right on the edge of the box. A boot too high, said referee Mike Riley, and when the free kick was taken, Bullard put it beyond Brad Friedel. It's 1-1.
Justice has been served, you're screaming, Garth.
And it's also, justice as a dish best served cold, and it was very cold. It was calculated. It was absolutely brilliant. Bullard just on the D of the opponent's box. It takes an age. Everybody settles down, and he just cold and calculated pinpoints the ball in the back of the net. It's a great free kick.
2 Scottish Cup quarter-finals are underway. One features Queen of the South against Dundee. Brian McLaughlin reporting.
It's now Queen of the South 2, Dundee 0. Dramatic scoreline in the dying minutes of the game here. Dundee pushing hard for an equaliser. They had a corner. The ball was cleared away, and from 60 yards, he was inside his own half. Ryan McCann shot and scored against Dundee. The full-time whistle has gone. History has been made here at Palmerston Park. Queen of the South, the Doonhamers, are in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup for the first time in 58 years. The final score here at Palmerston Park has been dramatic stuff, great stuff. It's Queen of the South 2, Dundee 0.
What a result for Queen of the South. Another goal in the Reading-Manchester City game. Alan Biggs.
Another big goal. Reading are sure of winning now. They lead Manchester City by 2-0. Substitute Dave Kitson on the break with City exposed, running in from the right, cut inside 2 defenders and finished coolly, just slotted it past Joe Hart. And Kitson's goal has made it Reading 2, Manchester City 0.
Reading going from third bottom to 13th in the table. Stoke City against Burnley in the Championship now. Harry Gratian.
Lawrence with a penalty for Stoke. 1 minute left. Here he comes up to take the penalty, and he has scored! Stoke City have gone nearly 270 minutes without a goal, and the crowd of 18,000 have gone mad now. It's not really what they deserve, but Lawrence has equalised 1-1.
And that's going to take Stoke back to second in the table. Charlton against Preston. Steve May.
We're into stoppage time here. It's Charlton 1, Preston 2. Preston looking at their second away win in 5 days. Both goals coming from Chris Brown. The first from 10 yards out as the Charlton defence just stood and looked upon. And then the second, an exquisite turn shot on the turn a minute after Charlton had equalised through a rather scrambled effort by defender Paddy McCarthy. It's Charlton 1, Preston 2. We've got about a minute left here.
Looks like Plymouth are going to drop out of the playoff places at home to Sheffield United. Hamish Marshall.
Yeah, they're losing by a goal to nil. Kevin Blackwell maybe about to taste victory for the first time since taking over as the Blades boss. James Beattie gets the plaudits for the headed goal. But don't forget goalkeeper Paddy Kenny. He's made excellent saves to deny Jermaine Easter, Russell Anderson and Peter Halmosi. Plymouth's hopes of a 6th win in 7 games are fading. There are still 4 minutes plus added time to go.
Looks like Hull City are going into the playoff places. Simon Clark reporting.
That could be some story. They've never played top flight football. They lead here by 2 goals to nil. Both of them in the first half from Pedersen and from Turner, and have rattled the post too from Dean Marnie's shot turned on to the post by the goalkeeper Joe Murphy. He's the Republic of Ireland's number 2. Nothing much at the other end for relegation-haunted Scunthorpe United. It looks as though the Tigers are upwardly mobile. They're leading here by 2 goals to nil.
Could be the Crystal Palace are getting their playoff campaign back on track. They're at home to bottom of the table Colchester. David Garrido.
And they're leading by 2 goals to 1, Ray. Palace by far the better side. Jamie Scowcroft thought he'd scored his 100th career goal, but it was actually put through his own net for the 2nd game in a row by the luckless Phil Eiffel. Kevin Lisby's 12th of the season brought Colchester level, a cool finish, but Palace have retaken the lead. Ben Watson stabbing home sub Ashley Robinson centre, and they've also hit the woodwork 3 times. Palace 2, Colchester 1.
Nottingham Forest held at Crewe. They could have done with 3 points to get their playoff campaign back going as far as League One is concerned. The Championship leaders Bristol City away at Leicester. Final whistle's gone. Mark Bishop.
Well, Leicester City have belied their league form today, Ray. A wonderful, wonderful game. Hume, Hendry, DJ Campbell and Fryatt all wasted good scoring opportunities, but what a performance from the Bristol City keeper Basso. 3 brilliant saves to deny Howard, Stearman and Mattock, but the big talking point, Brian Wilson's 25-yard thunderbolt clearly beat Henderson. The ball hit the underside of the crossbar, went over the line. No goal given. It's finished Leicester 0, Bristol City 0.
Final whistle at Anfield. Another 3 points to Liverpool, who consolidate their position in 4th place on the way to their Champions League game with Inter Milan. For Newcastle, no win in 12. Damian Johnson.
Yes, Liverpool 3, Newcastle 0. The game won and lost in a couple of minutes at the end of the first half. Jermaine Pennant opened the scoring with a freakish deflection as Jose Enrique attempted to clear. 2 minutes later, Newcastle switched off, still reeling from conceding that opener. Torres raced onto Gerrard's through ball and rounded the keeper for his 25th goal of the season. Torres repaid the favour to Gerrard in the second half for 3-0. Liverpool could have had a hatful. They were denied a penalty when Gerrard was tripped. Harper in the Newcastle goal made a string of decent saves. Martins hit the bar with a brilliant half volley in the second half for Newcastle. But Liverpool put takeover talk to one side to consolidate 4th place, as you say. Still no win for Kevin Keegan since returning to Newcastle. Dark days for the Geordies.
No win in 31 away from home for Fulham, but a point could be priceless. Andrew James.
Indeed it could, Ray, and no more than Fulham deserved for their plucky display today. Rovers 1, Fulham 1 the final score. Rovers going in front when substitute Jason Roberts crossed in for Pedersen to score, despite his perhaps foul on Stalteri, which wasn't spotted by the referee. But then Jimmy Bullard, closing minutes of the game. It was the first effort on goal that Fulham had all match. A free kick on the edge of the box after Samba had fouled Johnson, and he beat Friedel to give Fulham a share of the points. It was Blackburn Rovers 1, Fulham 1.
Garth, there's Stalteri and Gams Pedersen talking about the goal. Clearly that's the issue that turned this game.
It's the absolute issue. And on Match of the Day tonight, I think we'll see quite clearly that Pedersen wrestles Stalteri to the ground, and that goal should not have counted. Mike Riley missed it. And I also think Blackburn should have had, I beg your pardon, Fulham had a penalty appeal turned down, a perfectly good penalty appeal.
Let's get the story of the Coventry-Norwich game. Steve Lee at the Ricoh Arena.
Yes, it finished Coventry 1, Norwich 0. Vital 3 points for Coventry, but it could be a long, silent coach journey back to Norwich for Glenn Roeder and his players. Down to 9 men in the end. Gary Doherty sent off for his second yellow. Darryl Russell just back after suspension sent off for his second yellow. They lost their discipline. Jay Tabb got the goal for Coventry, and that could be very significant in the relegation shake-up. Coventry 1, Norwich 0.
Reading back on track. They went 8 Premier League defeats on the bounce. Won last week, won again today, from third bottom to 13th in the table. Alan Biggs.
Yes, Reading 2, Manchester City 0 at a jubilant Medeski Stadium. A big win and one giant leap by Reading. Big blow also to Manchester City's European hopes, the sort of match they should in theory win, but they've never looked like doing so, whereas Reading have been full of intent, and full marks also for their bravado in going for a killer second goal, duly provided solo style by substitute Dave Kitson. But the really crucial one came on the hour, created by Kevin Doyle and taken expertly by Shane Long. For City, one chance wasted by veteran Corluka, a defender, is a poor end product, but Reading richly deserving winners, 2-0.
In League One, the leader Swansea played and lost last night. Doncaster keep the second automatic promotion place. They've played and beaten bottom of the table Port Vale. Andy Barwell.
In a town better known in the sporting world for its racecourse rather than its football team, Doncaster with a win here, a 2-1 victory to keep them ahead of the other challengers in the race for an automatic promotion spot into the Championship. It wasn't pretty in blustery conditions, but they got that victory. All the goals in the first half, Heffernan and McCannon for Doncaster, Whittaker for Port Vale. Doncaster 2, Port Vale 1.
Carlisle keep their challenge up too. They're at home to Brighton today, watched by Steve Sutton.
Yes, indeed they do, Ray. They've won by 2-0, and that continues this remarkable home record. It's now 15 games in the league unbeaten for Carlisle. Goals in either half. The first from Danny Graham on 35 minutes, forced in at the near post after Glenn Murray for Brighton had hit the post at the other end. And then in the second half, we'd only been playing a few minutes, and Danny Livesey forced the ball home from close range after a Carlisle corner. Brighton weren't without their chances. On another day, Murray could have had 2 or 3, but in the end it's finished Carlisle 2, Brighton 0.
In League Two, MK Dons played and won last night and went back to the top of the table. Peterborough have retaken top spot. They've won away at Dagenham and Redbridge. Tony Lockwood.
Another away day success. George Boyd's left foot finished too good for Tony Roberts in the home goal, and then Craig Maykel made it 17 for the season. Dave Rainford with a late penalty made a match of it. Aaron McLean wrapped up the points despite Ryan Hall making it 3-2, and at least Sir Alex Ferguson's son Darren has something to smile about.
Darlington's automatic promotion campaign has been given a little bit of a dent this afternoon. At Wickham, Roger Johnson.
It's finished Wickham 2, Darlington 0. A deserved victory for the home side. Leon Knight's overhead kick put them ahead. He was denied twice more before Scott McLeish dispossessed Steve Foster and raced away to add the second. Darlington looking for their 5th win in 6. In truth, never looked like getting it. They've been beaten here by Wickham by 2-0.
Let's hear about the championship match at Bloomfield Road between Blackpool and Southampton. James Mason.
It's ended Blackpool 2, Southampton 2, Ray, in which an excellent second half from both sides means a point apiece is a fair result. Southampton did lead at half-time through a Gregory Vignal penalty, but a quick double after half-time from Keith Southern and Casper Gorst reversed the scoreline before Stern John smashed home his 15th league goal of the season to earn the visitors a draw and move the Saints that 1 point closer to championship safety. It ended Blackpool 2, Southampton 2.
3 on defeat for Tranmere Rovers at Boundary Park. Southampton 4th bottom, by the way. All results are just about in. Time for Tim Gudgin to confirm today's final scores.
And beginning with the FA Cup, sponsored by Eon. In the 5th round, Barnsley and Chelsea, they have an evening kick-off at 5:30. Manchester United 0, Portsmouth 1. The Barclays Premier League, Blackburn Rovers 1, Fulham 1. Liverpool 3, Newcastle United 0. Reading 2, Manchester City 0. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Blackpool 2, Southampton 2. Charlton Athletic 1, Preston North End 2. Coventry City 1, Norwich City 0. Crystal Palace 2, Colchester United 1. Hull City 2, Scunthorpe United 0. Leicester City 0, Bristol City 0. Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1, that's the latest score. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Stoke City 1, Burnley 1. In the Coca-Cola League 1, Carlisle United 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Crewe Alexandra 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Doncaster Rovers 2, Port Vale 1. Hartlepool United 4, Gillingham 0. Leeds United 2, Bournemouth 0. Leyton Orient 0, Huddersfield Town 1. Oldham Athletic 3, Tranmere Rovers 1. Southend United 2, Luton Town 0. Walsall 0, Northampton Town 2. Yeovil Town 2, Cheltenham Town 1. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Hereford United 2. Brentford 1, Macclesfield Town 0. Bury 2, Morecambe 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Peterborough United 3. Mansfield Town 0, Rochdale 4. Notts County 0, Barnet 0. Shrewsbury Town 1, Rotherham United 1. Stockport County 2, Bradford City 1. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Darlington 0. The FA Carlsberg Trophy semi-final first leg, Ebbsfleet United 3, Aldershot Town 1. In the Blue Square Premier, Altrincham 1, Forest Green Rovers 0. Crawley Town 1, Salisbury 1. Farnsley Celtic 2, Cambridge United 1. Histon 1, Halifax Town 3. Kidderminster Harriers 1, Grays Athletic 0. Oxford United 0, Burton Albion 3. Weymouth 1, Stevenage Borough 0. Woking 2, Stafford Rangers 2. In the 10th Scottish Cup 6th round, Queen of the South 2, Dundee 0. And St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 1. Ernbrew Scottish Division 1, Hamilton Academical 3, Morton 0. Livingston 0, Clyde 0. Stirling Albans match with Dunfermline Athletic postponed. Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United's match with Ayr United postponed. Berwick Rangers 1, Alloa Athletic 2. Peterhead 1, Wraith Rovers 0. Queen's Park's match with Cowdenbeath and Ross County's with Brechin City both postponed. Scottish Division 3, Dumbarton's match with Forfar Athletic postponed. East Fife 0, Albion Rovers 0. Montrose 2, East Stirling 0. Stenhousemuir 2, Elgin City 2. Stranraer 0, Arbroath 3. The Welsh Premier, Carnarvon 0, Airbus UK 3. Connors Quay 1, Cassus 0. Neath 2, the New Saints FC 2. Newtown 1, Haverfordwest 4. Portmarnock 0, Bangor City 0.
One leg kick-off in the Coca-Cola Championship, and it's finished Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1. That is a result now, Plymouth Argyle 0, Sheffield United 1. Quick look now at the updated league tables. And in the Barclays Premier League, Liverpool move 2 points behind third place Chelsea, 3 points clear of Merseyside neighbours Everton in the race for the fourth Champions League spot after a 3-0 win over Newcastle. Blackburn and Manchester City both dropped points against sides who started the day in the relegation places. Fulham's plight looks increasingly desperate despite a 1-1 draw at Blackburn, but it's a terrific draw for the Cottagers. They remain 6 points from safety though. Bolton drop into the bottom three after Reading's 2-0 win over Manchester City. The Roars leap 5 places up to 13th as a result. Newcastle slip another place to 14th. In the Coca-Cola Championship, leaders Bristol City were held 0-0 at Leicester, but they still have a 3-point advantage over Stoke, who climbed to second after drawing with Burnley. Those draws will have pleased Watford and West Brom, neither of whom have league games this weekend. Hull have moved into the playoff places after beating Scunthorpe 2-0. At the other end, Colchester and Scunthorpe both lost, but Sheffield Wednesday gave their survival chances a real boost after coming from behind to beat Queen's Park Rangers. Wednesday 2 points adrift of Leicester City, who drew with Bristol City. Let's look at Coca-Cola League 1. Leaders Swansea lost 2-1 at home to Millwall on Friday night. Their lead at the top is an impressive 8 points though. Doncaster and Carlisle both record home victories, now 7 points clear of Nottingham Forest in the race for the second automatic promotion spot. Quick look at the bottom 5 all lost. Looks increasingly desperate for Port Vale, Luton and Bournemouth, all 10 points from safety. Quick look at League 2. Peterborough back on top after winning 3-1 at Dagenham and Redbridge, replaced MK Dons on goal difference. Paul Ince's side won at Grimsby last night. Darlington occupy the final automatic promotion place. Bottom side, Wrexham play Chester tomorrow, still 4 points adrift of Mansfield, beaten 4-0 at home by Rochdale. Keith Alexander's Macclesfield lost to a last-minute goal at Brentford. Quick summary now of today's football headlines so far. Spot-on Muntari fires Portsmouth into the semi-finals of the FA Cup for the first time in 16 years. A happy hat-trick for Harry Redknapp. He's now knocked Manchester United out in the FA Cup with 3 different clubs. Torres on target again as Kevin Keegan's misery continues at Newcastle. Pennant and Gerrard also on the score sheet for Liverpool. Reading are out of the relegation places. Goals from Shane Long and Dave Kitson make it back-to-back wins for Steve Coppell's side. Jimmy Bullard's late free kick gives Fulham a priceless point away at Blackburn. And it's a 10:20 start for tonight's match of the day. As ever, all the goals, all the saves and all the major incidents from those games, they'll all be included in the programme, plus the action and reaction to the Barnsley-Chelsea FA Cup quarter-final. Tomorrow's 2 ties will be live on BBC One. Middlesbrough-Cardiff, Bristol Rovers versus West Bromwich Albion. 10-2 start for the match on Teesside. 10-6 start for the match in the West Country. 3 Premier League games tomorrow. Highlights Match of the Day 2 at 10 o'clock on BBC 2. Post-match reaction now to Portsmouth's FA Cup win at Old Trafford. Here's Steve Wilson.
Harry, that's just an extraordinary cup tie.
Yeah, fantastic. Great result for us to come here. It was, in all honesty, it was a draw that nobody wanted, wasn't it? And we end up drawing it. And, you know, there's no more difficult place to come. When they play and move and part, they're scary. But we stuck with them today and hung in there and, you know, worked their socks off. And, you know, it was a great, the lads were fantastic.
This referee today, he deserved that somebody come inside the pitch after 5 minutes, give him a red card, and put him out of the game. That's, at the end of the day, my opinion about this job today.
Specifically, I guess you would feel that Cristiano Ronaldo should have had a penalty from distance.
It's a clear penalty, but before the clear penalty was 2 fouls, 2 attacking fouls without... what the other expect when he elbowed the player through the line and put him out? That he become a saint after that. I mean, if the accident is there, that's why the tailors of this game, they can survive, and some of the best players, they're out of the game. This cannot happen anymore. This somebody must come with a new rule. Bring somebody, when the referees behave like this, red card, they put him out as the players.
Gavin, what's your reaction to Carlos Queiroz' comments there?
I can't believe you said that about Taylor. I think he's overreacted. I didn't see dirty challenges going in from the Portsmouth players. And to bring in Taylor, he maligns him, and I think he's wrong.
Quick comment from you, Garth?
For me, I thought Portsmouth deserved the victory. I thought they were outstanding. And I think they're entitled to a good semi-final place.
Quick reminder for news on all today's football and for sports news across the board. The BBC Sport website is constantly being updated. And via the red button between now and 6 o'clock, we'll hear from the likes of Rafa Benitez, Kevin Keegan, Sven-Göran Eriksson, Mark Hughes, post-match reaction, Mewood Park, Anfield, and the Majeski Stadium on the way as today's football service continues on BBC I. Barnsley-Chelsea FA Cup quarter-finals about to get going. Time now to say goodbye to BBC Two viewers.